All right. Well, we're here on not a normal day that you see or hear from us because November 10th is a special day in
I think
Michigan history.
special. Yeah, I think special is a good way to put it. Yeah.
It makes it sound a little light, perhaps, but a solemn special day.
Yeah, boy, we're selling the solemnity, aren't we? Yeah, so what is November 10th, Sam? Tell us.
This is a day, the day in 1975 when the SS Edmund Fitzgerald sunk in Lake Superior.
Yes, and if you're like me, the first and in some ways, some cases, only thing you know about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald is from the Gordon Lightfoot song, "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald," which is an outstanding song from one of North America's greatest folk singers ever. Wonderful singer.
Love me some Gordon Lightfoot.
He's awesome. Even beyond this song, it's just got that sort of like, I don't want to say creepy, but there's not creepy. I just there's something about his songs. I like them. This is not.
Some of them are haunting.
Haunting. Creepy and haunting.
There are two of them that were used in the Blacklist, the James Spader show that I tell you about all of the time.
Yes, I was going to say. Oh, I'm not surprised you noticed that. Yeah, yeah. Haunting is probably a better word than creepy. So, this is where I play my "I ain't from around here" card. Sam, as a native Michigander, what, if anything, did you learn about this sort of globally famous shipwreck because of the song "Globally Famous Shipwreck" from 1975, 4 days before I was born?
Oh,
yeah.
Well, same year.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, my dad is really into like Great Lakes history and loved maritime history on the lakes and everything. His grandfather actually built model ships, and some of them are in some museums. I forget which ones in the Upper Peninsula. But so it's something my dad has always been very interested in, and so we always heard the Gordon Lightfoot song on November 10th. But basically, the Edmund Fitzgerald had 29 crew members, and they were going through Lake Superior. So sort of from the Wisconsin side towards the lake, towards Lake Huron, towards coming down around that tip of Lake Superior into the rest of the Great Lakes. So. And, as the Gordon Lightfoot song states, the storms of November are in Lake Superior can just whip up and take you out. And Lake Superior is like, I mean, it kind of almost has its own like mythos about it. It's one of the deepest freshwater lakes on the planet.
Yeah.
Not the deepest, but I mean, it's up there. And, it kind of, it has its own personality in a way. It's just being this, tempestuous kind of.
It's big enough to have
thing.
like an own like ecosystems and weather systems that are uniquely affected. And I think it's one of the ways I sort of think about the Great Lakes when I'm actually considering the scale of them, especially Superior, is we call them lakes, but they're really freshwater inland seas.
Yeah.
I mean, these are things that would be, these are major waterways with huge amounts of shipping, and Lake Superior has a vast amount of shipwrecks. When I was a kid, I had a friend whose dad did wreck diving in Lake Superior, which I talked to another friend of mine who does some scuba diving, and I asked her, "You ever going to do that in Lake Superior?" She's like, "Nope, I prefer dealing with sharks off the coast of Mexico because it's warmer and safer." And you sort of think about how dangerous it would be to dive those wrecks. But yeah, and one of the things, again, going to the song, the last sort of the ending mentions the Maritime Cathedral in Detroit, and a friend and I were in Detroit a couple years ago, and we were both like, I've never been to the Maritime Sailors Cathedral. Let's go check that out. So we went down and actually saw the church that's mentioned in the song, which was kind of
Oh, I've never
interesting.
been there. There is though and is it? Oh, I should have looked this up. There's a Great Lakes Museum on Belle Isle, and they have a whole Edmund Fitzgerald sort of exhibit in there, and you can actually hear like some of the recordings that they have, from the the other ship that was attempting to like get in contact with the Fitz and see what was going on with it as these storms had whipped up, the Coast Guard, all of these calls. And as we were standing there, like I actually got teary-eyed because all 29 crew members lost their lives in this wreck, and it's still kind of a mystery as to what exactly it was that caused it to sink. There are a lot of theories, ranging from a series of 3 waves, which I guess is something that's very specific to Lake Superior. They call them the 3 sisters. And so that's the idea that these 3 huge waves come in and, one crashes and they don't have time to kind of get the water off ship before the next one comes. And then that third one just, kind of like the 1, 2, 3 punch, right? And you can't recover and the ship goes down. And so there are a lot of different theories about the weather system, how they track where it was, when last known communication was. And I think because it happened in the 1970s, so modern times, and we have these different recordings. And then of course the song, which came out a year later. It's not necessarily an extraordinary thing that happened. Many ships have sunk in the Great Lakes, but you're just able to create this narrative around it that's then played up by pop culture as well. And it's just in Michigan, like we all kind of have the sorrowful moments. Our local news station always has like this weather report where they go and they look at the storm and they track where everything is on a weather map and everything. Wow. And it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I just had the song, and but I need to go back to Belle Isle. We've been there a few times to go to the aquarium, which is really neat there. But I need to go to that museum and listen to those recordings because things like that are just, we use this word a lot tonight, haunting. It's just to hear those voices and know it's real. No, it's not a reenactment, and know that you're listening to an historical primary source. And when you get to a certain point in the 20th century, you get sources and historical evidence that has a more visceral impact on you. And that, I think this encounter, this shipwreck is one of those things that hit people viscerally at the time, and then the song compounds that, and then the more memorializations can also sort of add to that as well.
Yeah, and before we close out here, I just want to mention that if you want to learn more about the specifics of the shipwreck, you can visit the Great Lakes Shipwreck Museum website. They have a lot of as a museum person, I have to like give the shout out to the other museums. So go check out those specialists, those experts on the topic, and they have a lot of information there. And actually, I've been there. The museum itself is in Sault Ste. Marie in the Upper Peninsula, and they have the bell from the Edmund Fitzgerald that they've recovered from the wreck, and so you can see that when you go there. And so that's kind of a another one of those moving historical artifacts that you're able to actually see and get close to and see in real life. But they have pictures of it on their website as well.
Yeah, and the only other thing I'd say is that my wife and I have considered and regretted not using the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald for the first song we danced to at our wedding, if for no other reason than to really confuse people, because that's the kind of people we are.
Well, now you've taken my very powerful moment of directing people to the specialists and the importance of this historical artifact and turned it into a silly story.
Because that's the kind of person I am, and that's what I do. But yes, the Great Lakes Shipwreck Museum, is that?
Yes. Yep, we can include a link to it somehow.
Yes, we will put that in the notes for the video. and go listen to that song.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow.
All
Or
right.
today. When you watch it, it'll be today. Sorry.
When you watch it, it'll be today.
We're recording this on the day before.
You're breaking the fourth wall, Sam. What happened to the magic of television? Because this is television. Computer television. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Yeah. Nope. I thought I had a good thing to close with there. Sorry.
Thanks, everybody.